shit. Here we go again.
Low, low, man. Low, low,
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
I read contracts instead of conventional pornography, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Objection. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew Esquire, Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Happy to be here, scuffing it up today. I'm totally not late. I totally am on time, exactly when I wanted to be. It's good to be here with you guys. Thank you. 600 of you waiting. Thank you. I am so blessed to have so many of you guys in the chat today. We're going to have a fun one. Sorry, I went so hard on denims. I literally looked at the clock when I hit close on the Fast Facts, and it was 9:03. And I'm like, well, chat's not going to be happy about that one today. I'm like, chat's not going to be pleased today. But good to see you guys here in chat today. We're going to be going over the denims and also the mod responses, those filings. And then we're also going to go over her comments on social media, which are very, very spicy. And by the way, they link with the case because, as always, and this is true of the Reddit mods as well, and this is kind of the overwhelming, this is the story within a story. It's storyception. There's a lot of storyception here. Is that these people don't understand that online and reality are not two separate timelines or worlds or whatever. We're all part of the real world. This is the real world. This is the real thing. And what you say online can and will be used against you. And the way you behave reflects on your reality and what you think is more important. And Denims clearly thinks it's more important to dunk on an immunodeficient girl tied up in a charity lawsuit than it is to defend herself from Ethan Klein. That's clearly her priority. That's clearly her priority list, right? As well as owning those 2D Yahtzee VTuber girls that are no more, that in her words, are no more than gooner bait, right? We're going to get into all of that. And we're going to get into the mods, everything. There's a lot of craziness with this one. This one is actually very fun, very fun. So we're going to get into it today. Make sure you like the video, share it out. As always, if you're a clipper, somebody who makes clip content, reaction content, you can react to me. That's good. That's fine. As long as you don't fully upload the video, that's fine. With no commentary, that's fine. If you want to react to the whole video, that's fine as well. But good to see you guys. I have moved I moved myself back. So I'm trying a different angle. So this is a different mindset angle. So I'm moving myself back. I was given the tip that it'd be better if I'm further away from the camera. So I'm trying that today. If you guys like this angle, you like this mindset, let me know. I mean, I'm also going to try to maybe see if I can do some lighting to get rid of the shadows in the background. And I'm testing out the placement of items. So that is a strategically placed hat. That is a strategically placed hat to see how it shows up in the background. We may spice it up a little bit. Yeah, autofocus is a bit out at this. Oh, okay, it might be because of distance, right? And obviously, I need to work on, when I throw the hands up, autofocus gets confused. But thank you guys. Oh, it's on the mic. Okay, that is a problem. Maybe we need autofocus not to focus on the mic and focus on Andrew. I'll mess with that afterwards. Yeah, exactly. Well, the mic is a very good-looking mic. It's a very attractive mic. Okay, it's a very attractive mic. It's out of focus, more scuff. That's fine. That's fine. You know what? We're doing it live. We're doing it live. It doesn't matter. Okay. The mic is really the main character here. I'm the NPC. The mic is the character. Are we going to get PP? There's definitely a PP today. This one is full of, I'll tease you guys. We got one today. Of course we got one today. I would never not give you a PP unless it's a member stream, because members I have a weird, relationship, like a PP denial relationship with them that they kind of like. It's kind of like their members fetish where I deny them the PP, but they want it more. Anyways, we do have one today. Look, it's right here. It's right here. Dactyl said her comments about Mouse are wild. And once again, it reveals a deep insecurity. And I'm just going to be genuine for a second. I feel bad for Denims. I really do feel bad for Denims, genuinely, that she is so insecure about herself that she feels the need to attack a person like Iron Mouse. That is a deeply insecure person. And unfortunately, well, once again, I don't paint everybody with the same brush, right? Not all VTubers are X, not all YouTubers are X, not all OnlyFans girls are X, but there is a certain type of OnlyFans girl, right? A certain type, a subset, right? That is deeply insecure. And Denims falls into that deeply insecure OnlyFans girl stereotype. And we're gonna talk about that in detail later. Matt Larson says, interesting placement of Kirscha's hand in the title card. Intentional or accidental? I mean, it's always a little bit of both. Mind you guys, I make these things in like 5 minutes, and I scuff my thumbnails just as hard as I scuff my streams. I still do everything myself. I am working on that, getting more help for stuff. And as I'm a very slow person, and I hate giving up my control over stuff. So I'm very slowly letting others help me with stuff. There's going to be changes, obviously, as Mythic comes in and helps me with some stuff, and I'm getting help on research and other things. But we will slowly make improvements to the show. No radical changes, right? I don't like to go that fast. Hika for 10. Thank you so much. Morning Sin for 5. Thank you. Bald Eagle 1787 says, Andrew, I thought you had standards going hard on Denims. You've gone where many men have gone. I can't even finish this. And I'm already going.
No. Wait.
Also, Denims calling VTubers gooner bait is ironic. Exactly. I mean, what do you think people are doing to your OnlyFans? Do you think they're like, doing their prayers? Do you think they're putting Denim's OnlyFans pictures up in the mosque? Right? No, they're not. Right? Like, no, that's not happening. They're not putting them up in churches, mosques, and synagogues. That's definitely not synagogues. Right? Like, that's not happening. Denims, I mean, come on. The Denims crash out is fun to watch. And it's only going to get worse because the thing is about all of this, and we're going to see this for the Reddit mods as well, reality is going to hit them. They did the FA, and now they're finding out the FO. So that's where we're at in this cycle. Where we're at in this cycle is they messed around, and now they're about to find out, right? They're going to find out. Banky said, Denim should know better. Everyone loves Iron Mouse, even Hassan. She's a unifying force of the internet. Exactly. And at least Hassan knows better. But literally Denims is that dumb and that insecure to attack somebody that you should know, if you know about the internet, you should not attack, right? And not just attack them, all VTubers. To say all VTubers are no better than Goonerbait, the stupidest thing she could have possibly done. Spartan says, F it, we're doing it live. Yeah, that was me today. But I had to bring this. This is a spicy episode. The fast facts is going to be good. I did scuff it. I'm totally not fixing my PowerPoint for something I scuffed during the fast facts. I'm totally not doing that right now so that you guys don't see this error that I'm totally not fixing on the fly and not scrolling back 2 pages so that nobody notices that there may or may not have been some major scuff there. Okay, yeah, nothing to see here, kids. Nothing to see here. All right, Japanese Demon Lord Bart Lucifer says, good morning. Evening, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. I am. I'm really happy to be here with you guys. And I hope you guys are having a great morning, evening, wherever you are. I hope your families, friends, everybody around you is doing well. And I'm sending my good energy to all of you. Master N for 2 says, Denims v Shoujo debut when Gun Run can't go lower. Denims belongs at Vector. No. You know what? All of those are defunct. She's got to go to Niji. Denims is a Niji girl. JP Ravenfire for 5. Thank you so much. King Lugia for 10. And Bod Chad for 10. Thank you.
Yes.
Suzy Q, also thank you for those 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Giving all my haters massive
emotional cabbage.
Shout out to the Somali arc there. Nobody says, checked out the deleted Snarkmon comments. Oh, there's so many, but we're not even going to have time to get into all of it today. I'm having to focus because there's more. This saga is going to be ongoing, guys. So if I miss something today related to this, feel free to email me, follow up. There'll be more emails on Denims and Caseytron and Reddit in this lawsuit. This is going to be going on for the next 2 years. This is a content gold mine, right? And I am just a humble Florida lawyer miner that's going to be mining this law content for the next 2 years minimum, probably three, right? It's going to be glorious. Fair Frozen for 55 says, I didn't know about Mouse until you talked about it. I am in PR. Yeah. And you know, once again, great voice, great cause, great charity. We'll talk about all that later. And Denim's decided to attack this person because she's insecure. Raby said, wow, an e-girl envious towards VTubers. Denim is just Brittany Venti ranting about Gargura and Malded when Gura joked back at her. Denims will fear Rima. Yeah, all VTubers and V-drama people right now, you get a free dunk on Denims. If there's any people that are out there in the VTuber sphere and you are not dunking on Denims so hard right now, you're missing a free pass. And by the way, it doesn't matter what your politics are, whatever else. She came for the whole genre, right? It doesn't matter if you like Denims or Hassan. She came for all VTubers. You get a free shot. Even if you agree with her, you get a free shot if you're a VTuber. So take the dunk. Why not? Go ahead, take the shot. It's there. It's right there. Sigrun says, I think she openly said she was going to sloot it up in an effort to fund the lawsuit. The hypocrisy is undeniable. Even if the VTubers she pointed at were actually Gooner bait. It doesn't matter whether that's true or not. I mean, and the statement she made was that there's a pipeline, and this pipeline is, I guess, into VTubers. But the weird thing is that this person that she was criticizing was also following OnlyFans girls, several OnlyFans girls. So doesn't it go, streamer, OnlyFans girl, VTuber, if you're really going to track gooning, right? If that's really what you're trying to prove. But that's not what she said. What she just jumped to was all VTubers are going to be, right? She didn't even try to make a more substantiated argument. Master N says, Denim used a gooner bait take, even the BBC did. Yeah, exactly. Even news networks knew better than that. All right, let's get into this, guys. Okay, so obviously you know the background here, guys. You know that there's a lawsuit that is currently going on between Caseytron, Denims, Frogy Yogi over here. Gosh, this stare always burns into my soul. And Ethan Klein for copyright infringement. And this is very important to remember because as we're discussing this, all of them, including Hassan Hamas Piker, right, are trying to distract you. They are trying to tell you that, oh, it's not about copyright. No, Hassan, it's legal. You don't get to say it's not. It is. It's a factual thing. It is a fact. This is a copyright lawsuit. It has been filed with the court. If you could read, Hassan, you would read copyright infringement. There's nothing else in this lawsuit. It's not about the human skulls. It's not about whatever, something mean somebody said that's not about copyright infringement. No, it's specifically about that. Them proving Ethan Klein is a bad, bad man, which, by the way, you guys don't have to like Ethan Klein. In fact, you can dislike him, but he can still be right about copyright. And what his case is actually very important for copyright infringement because if Denims and Caseytron and Frogan were to win on the merits, it could actually really destroy the ecosystem in regards to online content creation. If they were to win based on some of their arguments, including the Trojan argument, oh yes, I have a Trojan condom argument that Denims used. Denims, the OnlyFans girl, used what I am deeming the Trojan ultra thin condom defense. And if that defense is allowed, it would absolutely wreck the creator ecosystem. It would destroy it. Everybody could rip off everybody. It wouldn't matter. It's whatever. We're just all reacting, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yes, we're going to get there. EDMG says, bashing people just for using cartoon avatars. What is Denim's insecure because she has to show off her jeans? Well, it's inherent to, and I'm going to, maybe I'm over-explaining here, but it's it's an inherent fear of the OnlyFans girls because they're not actually talented. Now, some of them are. Some of them are. I'm not painting them all. Some of them are genuinely talented. Some of them are good gamers. Some of them are good painters, artists, whatever, singers, etc. But people like Denim's in her subsection, right, of very insecure people that feel their value is only derived from their physical attraction. That's a subset of people. I feel bad for them because reality and certain walls hit. And, you know, VTubers are eternal and they know that. Shondo knows that, right? And when they hit that realization that, hey, these VTubers are going to be able to have this model and they'll be able to have this model 10 or 20 years from now, and they could theoretically still do this, whereas Denim's career is maybe 5-10 years max, you know, it to get a little jelly and they throw a little shade, you know, throw a little shade. And I guess so I mentioned Shondo, so I have to, let's say I have to drop this.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
King Lugia for 15 says instead of making those mindless takes, Denim should shut her yap and resume making her lewd content like he thought she is. Exactly. Just go back to being Squirrel Girl. Which was the thumbnail, by the way, in case you guys didn't catch that. I do like these thumbnails. These are good thumbnails. And I am going to show you some spicy content at the end. So if you have an aversion to toes, if you're not into foot stuff, it's not going to be anything that's going to get us kicked off of YouTube. Don't worry. Okay, children can be around, but you know, there's going to be some stuff at the end, a little spicy. I'll warn you. I'll tell you to cover the eyes of very small children, right? At the end. But that's really why she's salty. They're edging in to her niche, her special niche. Mr. Paradoxum says, Denim speedrunning her career. She about to set a new record. I suspect her run is tool assisted. Ray Domino says for 15, have you heard about Dale James West, an American tourist that robbed a jewelry store in Vietnam? No, I have not. I'll have to check that out. Interesting story. Trials coming up. No, send the information to me if you have it. I'll take a look, and I know some people in Vietnam, so I can ask over there. To be fair, Hassan can't read unless it's written in Arabic or Cyrillic. Oof. Okay, so here's the update. Now, there's a lot of legal filings. So we're going to read today just a little bit. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to read some of the Denim's, the mod responses. And then we're going to see some posts also, some stuff I've got in the PP. But they filed hundreds of pages of legal filings. Most of that are relevant exhibits. So we're not going to go through 700 pages. But what I will tell you is this. People that have a strong case don't often feel the need to like bury the other side in useless stuff. So when I see this, I actually think, oh, wow. And when I read the arguments, the combination of the size, it's like overcompensation, right? It's a person in the really, really big truck. No, not the really big truck. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. They're overcompensating. It's like clearly, they're overcompensating. 700 pages overcompensating, right? And that's because their arguments are so weak. Most of the defense filings are really irrelevant. And we do have one filing where the date has been set tentatively for December 2026. So the date has been set. That's actually really good. I may or may not have scuffed the date in my fast facts. Yeah, no, I took that back about trucks because I kind of like big trucks. I kind of like Truck Coon. So in reverence to Truck Coon, I take that back. But you guys get what I'm talking about. Sometimes people overcompensate. All right, let me get some of these. Ryobi says, why do I feel like Denim's is in the cinder? Just oh, we'll see. You know what, guys? In this most hilarious of timelines, everything connects. And like everything that's going on connects. Like there's like these tendrils that are connecting from all the weird and bad things and all the lawsuits. They all connect together. And like it all comes back. And we on this channel expose all of it. That's my long-term like hilarious outcome. It's like everything links back and it's all goes into like the VTuber verse and it goes into like these things we've been exploring for a while. It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. He can pretend says legal mindset readout of 700 pages of legal filings as you lie in bed ASMR. legal mindset as he. I can't even say it. I don't want to say it on YouTube, but I would not enjoy that. I would not enjoy that. 700 pages. No, I need to hire a paralegal to do that for me. Larry Bowers says she eats bacon while mooing on her only side. Master N says Denim's is jelly. No, she's not cute. Like, oh, wow. By the way, in the chat, Tylenol and Officer Jenny emojis. You can use the Tylenol American. We now have a Tylenol American and a Officer Jenny. That's a Pokemon reference from the war against the Pokemon Company International. So if you want to drop those Tylenols, drop those Officer Jennies if you're a member, you got those, you got those out there. That's a big benefit that you get if you join as a member, and you can say thank you to people like Walking Corpse if you get those emojis, because you get those thanks to people like him and his generous gifts. So thank you very much for that. And for that, and all the gifters today, I say,
Yes.
Big Buddha says, I like trucks. I like big trucks in a can, not lot. Okay, I'm not going into it. There's actually a karaoke room very close to me, like a secret one that I found out about that at some point I'm going to use, but that's a good modification of that song. Someone go into Suno and create that song. Hazarat for 5 says, this will be an interesting case, especially against the Reddit mods. Greeting from Austria. Well, Grüß Gott over there in Austria. Hope you're doing very well in the first German-speaking country that I visited and that I love. I've spent a lot of time in Vienna. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And here's the other thing, which I talk about in past facts. This case is opened up against all of Reddit. There was a self-own in the docs where they opened up this case to go against the Reddit administration themselves, not just the mods. Because the Reddit admins may have engaged, and once again, this is speculation based on a statement, but the Reddit admins, that means the people running Reddit, may have engaged in spoliation, that is impermissible deleting, modifying, or tampering with evidence. And I said this in my fast facts, and I'll say this again multiple times here. I do hope Ethan Klein's lawyers pay attention, because this is massive. Because this could open up all of Reddit to getting their text messages, their emails, their Discord messages, everything exposed. Oh, yes, really juicy. Yeah, the admins as in employees of Reddit, people working for Reddit. Yes. Oh, yes. And it's by a self-owned by the mods. It's crazy. When I saw this, I was like, wait a second. Are you kidding me? They engaged in spoliation of evidence? Oh, that's not good. Don Pedak says, let me get this straight. She went after a woman that's a better person, bigger fan base, and at least 10 times more accomplished and done more for humanity. Yeah. And once again, what did you get out of that, Denims? Did you feel better about yourself? Is that going to make you age less? Is that going to make you more attractive? No, it makes you into a petty, insufferable girl that's going to lose what may be $1 million lawsuit and is more concerned about beating up on an immunodeficient girl than she is about her own case. It's crazy. Master X Doof became a new member. What should tell us for 20 says, what in the hell has VTubers ever done? They've existed. And we're in an era where like just existing offends other people. I mean, I know there's people that are offended that I just exist on the internet and create content. It's like, dude, you can just like block me and not watch my content. But no, rent free in their heads. It is beautiful. I love it. Paula Lamali, as a new member, thank you. Mark Molden says, do you think they filed the 700 pages to make Ethan pay more lawyer fee? Ethan is like infinite money glitch. And also for a law firm, that's nothing. They'll get somebody to do that for nothing. That's not a problem at all for a law firm. That's not going to slow a law firm down. Law firms have ways to make discovery go very, very quickly. That is not a problem. Ethan has the best lawyers, right? That money can buy, and he's like on the infinite money glitch. It's not going to be a problem. In the war of who has more money It's not Denim's, Frogan, and Caseytron. So they're trying a tactic that would work with somebody, maybe if it was like a really rinky-dink law firm, but that's not Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein has real money. And they don't realize like this is not the same scenario. And I think their lawyer might be used to beating up on other people that don't have a lot of money or whatever and using this tactic in another way, but it just is not going to work. Nick Atkins says, press F to pay respect to the Reddit admins. May Reddit rest in pieces. That's going to be great. It's going to be great. Leprechaun Gold, thanks for the 10. Appreciate that. Ace Adventure for 2 Canadians says, good morning from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Hey, what's up? Hang on to your beaver tails up there in Canada. Mr. Barrett Oxen for 999 says, Denims looks like some things you would create with the Fallout 4 character. No scratch that she looks like something that came out of the original Skyrim character creator. Oof. Harry Potter for 499 says, how does it felt being treated like an expert source by fellow content creators, and do you consider yourself worthy of being an expert? Well, once again, Harry Potter, I'm very honored, but I am a generalist. So my job is to communicate to you guys and to other content creators too, the general law, the general basics of the law. If you have a personal problem, you often should go out and seek a specialist, right? And you often should go out and find someone with very, very in-depth knowledge. Do I consider myself an expert? Well, I am an expert in certain areas of the law. I'm still an active practicing corporate attorney. I still work in-house for a real company, right? I have deep expert in real estate, deep expert in special districts, right? I talked about that during my Disney saga. So there's areas of law that I do have specialist knowledge in, but otherwise I am a generalist. But what I'm really good at is communicating that to the people, right? Because I'm just a simple guy. So if I can get it, you guys can get it too, right? So I consider myself an expert at explaining stuff to normal people, at making law simple. So yeah, that's what I consider myself an expert at, right? About everything, no. And the amazing thing and what I love about the legal community is there are so many kind and nice people that I can just pick up the phone and call them if I have a question, and I ask them and I defer to them. I don't need to be God. I don't need to know everything. I don't need to be omnipotent. I just need to have friends that I can rely upon that are good people that will help me out and that will lend me their expertise. And I am very, very lucky to have those people. Rokan Bull Gym Blades for 50 says, my existence is offensive to some people. Sometimes I crack a smile and giggle a little, knowing that I can piss people off by doing nothing. That's great. Patrick says, they're trying to pull a Logan Paul against CoffeeZilla minus they don't know his kind of funds. Exactly. They have no idea. And Sketch Therapy for 5 says, can partner streamers use OSHA against Twitch? Twitch has a lot of info on partner streamers and seems biased and unsafe. Twitch spoilation. You might be able to use OSHA if you're a streamer. You could try. I would say it's worth a shot. You could just try. All right. So let's get into the case. We're going to review this one. So this is the response of the does. So remember, anonymous parties are called Jane or Jane or John Does, right? And that's meant for a anonymous attorney, right? Or anonymous person, rather. So the people that are the Reddit mods, I'm going to get some water here because it's going to take a while. This is so stupid. It needs a lot of hydration. Okay. This is peak level 39 IQ stuff. So all of this, and this is important for you guys to remember, this whole argument here, this whole motion is for the Reddit mods to be able to hide, remain anonymous, and not reveal anything, not reveal their messages, not reveal. They're trying to hide. This is a motion to hide, essentially. Understand that the confrontation, confronting your opponents, confronting the people accusing you, knowing the witnesses, knowing who's there, is fundamental to our court system. Every day, people are charged with crimes, and they're confronted by the people that are accusing them, right? They have to, the law enforcement officer comes out, or if they're a victim, there's the accuser, etc. Like, you're supposed to know who's involved in the process. But magically, in this system, and these are by and large, from what I understand, mostly adults. Now, I don't know whether there's any of these people that are Reddit mods are minors, but let's assume they're all adults. I do assume they're all adults, right? These adults are trying to pretend they live in a magical land where they can do anything they want online and they can't be discovered. Because if this was accepted, if this argument was accepted, You could essentially do whatever you want online and just hide your identity because you're scared. That's the argument they're making. I'm sorry. You FA'd and now it's FO. You cannot separate these two universes. These are not two different timelines. It's not like the online universe and the offline universe are completely separate and they never meet. No, not at all. These are the same world, the same reality, right? Now it's kind of weird because, I understand the feeling where sometimes we get in the thought when we're online that this is we're talking to people online, this is just online. But understand there typically there are other humans online. There are other humans on the other side of things, right? Now, sometimes those people are bots, right? Sometimes those people are, bots or scripts, etc. But oftentimes when we're talking about other people, there's a person on the other end, right? So this is a big thing, right? It's a big thing. Trying to hide an identity as a person. So in this document, I kind of labeled the statement of facts more of the statement of lies. And by the way, Oyamada, this is super off topic, so I will get to that at the end, right? Because it's so off topic. It's about the Bangkok sinkhole. Okay. So statement of lies. There's a section of this called the statement of facts, but it's so incorrect, I wanted to call it the statement of lies. And that's because all of this is kind of framing information in a hilariously bad way. So while I do agree that, Ethan Klein, Hassan, and Denim's all react to each other, I do get that. It doesn't make it permissible, because they all do react to each other, to give unlimited copying. This argument made me laugh. This was the best. The H3 Snark subreddit, a safe and anonymous space. A safe and anonymous space.
Objection.
First of all, whenever I hear safe space, sorry.
Objection.
There's an automatic objection to safe space. Because, as we all know, that's coded language, right? That's coded language. And yes, I know today the microphone is the main character. I am the side character. But it is certainly not that, right? We've seen many Reddit spaces that are definitely far from safe, right? Particularly with some communities. But beyond that, let's go to the trap element, right? So they bring up the Ethan Klein lays a trap. And this argument is one I have heard a lot, and I've had to talk a lot about. And the reason why they put this in their legal filing is I don't think this is because it's a real legal argument. Because the lawyers, unless they're absolute idiots, which they might be, I don't know whether they're idiots or not, this is not a legal argument. It doesn't matter. The intent of the person registering the copyright doesn't matter. You can be Dr. Evil or you can be Austin Powers. It doesn't matter. Whatever you are, good or evil, whether you're Mario or Bowser, doesn't matter. You're allowed to register your copyright. All it is did you do the things to register your copyright? If you did the things to register your copyright, it's registered. Now, does that mean you have to like the fact that Ethan Klein called it a trap? No. Can you call it he was immoral or whatever? That's your call. That's subjective. But the law doesn't care. We talked about Pokemon, for example, right? Pokemon registers patents in a very broad way to lay a trap for other companies so they will sue them and take over an entire genre. Hashtag Stop the Pokemon Company International. Hashtag Kabushiki Gacha Pokemon. We're still going. The campaign's not stopping. It's on Twitter. And I'll have other videos in the future. But that's very comparable to this. Very comparable. Because in that case, you have Pokemon saying, hey, we want to stop all people on that field. And this, Ethan is saying, hey, listen, it's a trap for people I know are going to copy my content, but that should be protected. You have to do this. You have to take the step of registering it to file a lawsuit. So he can call it whatever it wants. He was just exercising his legal rights. Thunder55 for 10 says, it seems Denim doesn't have great genes. No. No, she's not Sydney Sweeney. Nicholas Atkins says, first, Elon buys Twitter for free speech. Second, conservative-leaning folks buy TikTok. Third, TPUSA by Reddit. That would be hilarious. If in Reddit, this lawsuit may ruin Reddit. This lawsuit could take down Reddit. Because now we have the Reddit admins involved. And by the way, here's the big one. You guys want a big white pill too? Imagine if Reddit gets taken over, because where does the AI comb all of its information from? A lot of it. Reddit. That's one of the top sources, right? So imagine if that shift, that'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. All via Denims, all because Denims, Frogan, Casey Tron could not keep it in their pants, right? Very hilarious. Tylenol Americans are activated on this one. Yes, this is definitely a Tylenol American rabbit hole, if you want to look at it. How all this connects together. And the onions that are being peeled back here by all these lawsuits. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. But anyways, so the intent here really doesn't matter. The trap doesn't matter. Now, am I sympathetic to people who say they don't like that? Okay, sure. But there's a lot of things about the law we don't like. It really doesn't change the substantive arguments. I'm going to get into the fair use arguments, which I laughed at, but let me answer these two. Chaos Smash says, what's your opinion on just the phrase safe space? I think on just the phrase safe space, it really, the modern use of that term very much implies an unsafe space, because it implies a space that is unsafe for anybody that is not designated the recipient of said safety. But that's a bit of a like deeper take, right? Safe space, snarking, attend TwitchCon then? Yes, please attend TwitchCon. Hassan won't. It's like you poke the bear, you start the fire, but they won't attend, right? We're going to do a whole separate video on TwitchCon. I'm probably going to need a couple days to prep that one because it's going to be spicy. It's going to be spicy. And I think there's going to be lawsuits flown out of that one. It's going to be good. Okay. So let's look over some of these arguments for fair use. And this is hilarious. So Denim's, like, just even arguing that it's fair use just made me absolutely lose it. And by the way, great use of the Officer Jenny, the new Officer Jenny emoji. Thank you guys. Tylenol American and Officer Jenny from the Pokemon reference. So the first thing is Denim's use was transformative and does not supersede the original use. So these are all the factors for fair use. So she's trying to say that despite all the time in the chair and whatever else, with the chair alone watching, etc., the empty chair, it still should be considered transformative. The problem is that she copied the entire thing and on top of that, she said her intent was to steal from the original. So if you say my intention is to replace the original so you don't watch his video, you cannot argue that. You're literally saying, I want you to supersede the original use. She said it with her own lips. So with her own words, she kills this first argument. The second one is one of my favorites. I saw this and I'm like, what? Yes. Understand what this point number 2 means, chat. This is insane. TEI is Ethan Klein. So I'm going to read this the way it actually functions. So Ethan Klein's highly factual works support greater dissemination. Ethan Klein's highly factual works. Ethan Klein's highly factual works. Guys, Denim's now online legally has to say that what Ethan Klein was talking about was factual. Was factual. Not creative. It's factual. So Denim's has to say those are facts. Those are not opinions. Those are facts. She is legally bound to that. If Denim's now tries to say, well, oh no, those are just his opinions about Hassan. Oh, that's just him. No, that's just his feelings. She has to actually say that. If she doesn't, her own comments can be used against her in court to defeat her argument. She has to agree with Ethan. Now, that doesn't mean to be clear, it doesn't mean she has to say she agrees with the facts, but she has to say they are facts. Because we live in this era of the internet where people want to say that what the other person is saying is just something made up. It's just something they created. It's some opinion or whatever. No, it's a fact, right? It's factual. She's making the argument that it's factual. Now, she's doing that. The lawyers are doing that to try to win a fair use argument. But what they don't realize is Denim's is an online creator. And she's got to live with this legal yeeting. And Denim's did not know the extent to which this is going to blow back in her face. This is why I was smirking all the way to the bank when this came down. I was like, oh boy, I am going to have so much fun with this one. Because they make legal arguments that they have to live with online. And every time they don't live up to them, I'm going to call them out just like this and say, well, that's not what your attorney said, Denim's, and you're sabotaging your legal case. And wouldn't it be fun if the judge gets a clip of her saying elsewise, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Because remember, Ethan Klein gets to respond to this, and he can just clip Denim's and respond and clip her own videos and use that in a response. Wouldn't that be great? And the same with Casey Tron, et cetera, right? This is a great one. Denim's use did not negatively impact the market and increased it. I put the stonks here because it's like the most ridiculous, like the ridiculous argument ever. It's like, listen. My scam coin tanking and taking everybody's money actually increased the market because after my scam coin stole everybody's money, everybody covered the fact that my scam coin stole everybody's money. That's the argument she's making. No. Literally, it increased the market because everyone is covering how stupid Denim's is, and Casey and Frogan, and Casey Tron and Frogan, and the Reddit mods. It increased the market because we're all mocking them. That's a unintended consequence. It doesn't make it fair use. Yeah, she made herself a lolcow. Exactly. But that's not a defense. There's no lolcow factor to a fair use defense. It's like, Your Honor, my client is a lolcow. She has completely lost all self-awareness and intelligence, and that, Your Honor, should protect her from all liability. We got to protect the lolcows. You do not touch the lolcow. No. That's not an actual legal defense. It may be an internet rule. Not touching the cow may be an internet rule, but it is not a legal defense for fair use. Also, we have stripping, which, of course, stripping very much in Denim's wheelhouse. Denim's is very comfortable with the Trojan ultra-thin argument. Let's read the last one, number 4. Stripping unoriginal elements, TEI's thin copyright deserves little protection. That's why I put the Trojan ultra-thin. It's as little protection as you can get while still using protection, right? While still using protection. So the Trojan argument is that as long as you're just using clips, just little thin bits from other people's shows, what you have is not real content. So therefore, it has no protection, right? It should be treated like no protection. Even though you're wearing one, it should be treated like you're raw, right? That's not how it works in copyright. In fact, the copyright law is quite the opposite. compiling clips together in a unique, creative way has multiple times been found to be quite creative and quite innovative, particularly if paired with commentary or parody, right? So this Trojan argument is going to break. It's not going to work. Sorry. You may have a surprise in 8 months. All right, 8 to 9 months, 8 to 9 months. Let's get some of these comments before I continue here. Bald Eagle 1787 says, so are we going to take bets on Reddit being looked at by the DOJ as a staging and breeding ground for terrorism and those who support it? Once again, when they get deep in these things and some of that stuff comes out, because remember, Discovery is going to get a lot of information. And let's say there's some links between people that are violent and unhinged and on Reddit or with the admins because their stuff is going to become discoverable. That would be very, very bad for them. Patrick S. says all these filings are just going to annoy the judge. Exactly. And the judge is not going to like it. Is not going to like it. Lisa O for 10 says, Denim's trying to paint a target on herself. Iron Mouse is such a sympathetic person and she's becoming more popular daily. Exactly. Shake my head. She is adding more interest and attention to Iron Mouse. And you know what? Hopefully Iron Mouse, you know what? Let me white pill you. Hopefully everybody goes out there and I'm going to do something nice here. Let me go out here and say, hopefully everybody goes out there on behalf of Iron Mouse and her exposure and gives money directly, not indirectly, to the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is a very, very just cause, right? Supporting, people that have primary immunodeficiency so they don't feel isolated, so they have support. This is a good thing. This is a really good thing. I truly support this. I think this is a very good thing that people should give to and support. And this is what was stolen. This is what was stolen by Gunrun and his thugs who were obsessed with beating HoloLive, right? Of course, we're speaking about Vishojo. They're currently tied up in a case with them. But yeah, no, hopefully good comes out of it and the Immunodeficiency Foundation makes some money there. Hopefully they get that. You guys can donate there. It's at primaryimmune.org, right? I'll keep that. I'll probably pop that up later because I want to show that. Also, let me pull up the actual lawsuit document so you guys see where I got this stuff from. Now, I reviewed this thing and I didn't want to go through all of this, but the one thing I just want to go back and say in this regarding the trap, because I did hit on that once, but I think a lot of people with the trap, and this is the actual document. Let me show you guys right here. Okay. This is the actual document. You can kind of look this up for yourselves. What page are we on? We're on page 14. Okay. So here's a document. You see the case, the attorney, Cronenberger Rosenfield, that filed that on behalf of the movement, of the Reddit movements. Movement is like the parties that are trying to hide this in the Central District of California, San Francisco division. So, last thing I want to say about this is the trap argument is really a trap. It's like trapception. Don't let the trap you in a trap, right? It's really misleading. It's not the right way. And it isn't something that there is any case law to support finding in the favor of their side. So that's a dismantling of their arguments. I did read through all of it. I read through some of the case law, etc. There might be other things I'll go back on and hit, but that's the main points I wanted to point out, that the arguments that Denims gives there, both regarding the statement of facts and both the substantive fair use arguments, are really not going to win the day. And there's a reason why. There's a reason why no lawyer on the internet has taken up the cross of Denims or the whatever it is, right? Whatever she's got, right? She's unholy, so what is the pentagram, right? Pentagram of Denims, right? And tried to make her argument strongly as fair use. Now, I have said, and other lawyers have said, there's always a chance a judge can find in your favor, but the factors clearly weigh in favor of Ethan Klein. It's never 100%, but I would say at this point, it's probably 95% Ethan Klein, 5%. And the 5% is not due to Denims being anything special, it's just chaos, right? Chaos. Jess, I'll just call you Jess, says, Denim's lawyer, Your Honor, this is Chewbacca. Thunder, for 10, says, Sargon of Akkad and Aquila, yes, exactly, obviously ruled that works can be transformative without commentary. Exactly, and that was just clips. It was obvious case law. And their lawyers just ignore that. They're trying to create new tank law. How would Denim's use that as a defense, or could Ethan use it? No, Ethan would use it to say this is bunk. Tank Rat, what's up? 40 months, gigabased. Hold on. 40 months.
Hello, Beso Department.
Well, the Scuff King is present today. Denim's doing nothing but digging her hole so deep she'll hit a volcano. In Trump's voice, China. I got you. Rayobi said, essentially, Denim's is Johnny Somaliing it, and it's in an epic fashion. It is in an epic fashion. Wrapped in for 5 says, the only defense left for Denim's is insanity plea. I agree. Scorpion says, so Trojan is a legal prophylactic. Shimazu said, it's a legal field day for lawyers. I know, and I'm surprised more people haven't taken this on, but this is hilarious for me. I am loving every minute of it. This is content. I could not have asked for content so perfect. Like, I live in a universe of perfect content. This is lovely. Zheojiang Mao says, Tylenol American sounds kind of lame. I'm surprised. I haven't seen anyone using Aceto American instead. It rolls off the tongue much better. I don't know. Tylenols, we like our brands in America, like Coke, like Pepsi, you know? I'm a hardworking Tylenol American. Postcode says, Denim represented by Lionel Hutz. Close to it. All right. Let's get back to the PP. We can't leave our PP neglected for too long, because there's some really crazy stuff in here. And we got to get to all of it. So here we go. With the rest of this PP, which is totally here. So they make an argument, and this is in a separate filing, right? They make an argument that about the human skulls being a hoax, right? And saying that Ethan and Hilla sent them themselves. They quote Taylor Lorenz, which, once again, worst source ever. And they, of course, demonize the humble fruit farmers. The humble fruit farmers. So they talk about the skulls arriving in a box and being a hoax. None of that, regarding the skulls and everything else, has anything to do with copyright law. Whether or not those were real or a hoax or whatever else that was sent to Ethan and Hilla does not matter. If you infringe on copyright, you infringe on copyright. That's a separate thing, which could be criminal culpability. That's totally separate. And if it turns out that the Reddit admins or mods have criminal culpability there, that could be massive. And because of that reason, they're trying to hide. But it's not going to protect them from Ethan. It's just something that may be discovered by this lawsuit. We may get a deeper rabbit hole of criminal conspiracy underneath this lawsuit. And I believe that Reddit may actually know because of this next slide. And here's where it really gets crazy. So in this response, this was filed, to be clear, by the lawyer for the Reddit mods. But this is the biggest the biggest self-snitch I have seen ever. This is a quote. Being involved with other subreddits that continue. Many of my fellow moderators have endured a deep psychological impact and fear of retaliation, to the point that the Reddit admins offered us free subscriptions to privacy software that would help remove our PII, that's personal identifiable information, the biggest currency out there. Every company wants to get your PII. Understand that. If something is for free, it's harvesting you like an NPC for PII. It is farming you like a bot, right? Anyways, they're saying they want to give them free subscriptions to remove PI from the internet, not just from Reddit, from the internet, in the case we are doxxed and harassed by the outcome of the lawsuits. This is what we call spoliation of evidence, and even further, could actually imply some criminality here, depending on how deep this goes. If Reddit admins are so dumb to actually assist in the deleting of evidence outside of a court order, that is insane. And the fact that they slipped that in there, whatever paralegal or attorney filed this, they need to get a stern talking to, right? Well, and the thing is, though, and here's to be clear, the attorneys represent the mods. They don't represent the admins at Reddit. So this just opened the door for the Reddit admins themselves, the admins, the employees, to be questioned, to have their emails gone through. This is huge. This is insane. And I know this will be clipped. I hope this is clipped. Eagle, clip this, right? This is definitely something that Ethan Klein needs to know. Everybody needs to know this, because this is an admission of guilt. This is a bombshell. The door is open for all of Reddit to come down. To suffer Reddit. Jaffa Greg for 10 New Zealand says, why would any self-respecting law firm take on such hopeless case? No. Listen, lawyers have a duty to defend people, and you know, if they get paid, they get paid, right? And I do think they are getting paid something by someone. Hope they get paid up front, because the people they are representing won't have any money by the time it's over. Yeah, no. James for 5 says, getting ready for bed, but here's a couple $, buying some support on me. Yeah. Lex Ludo for 5 says, I haven't seen Denim's mother to guess what she will look like 10 years from now. But I know what she will be like, as she hasn't seen her father. Oyamada for 13 for 5 says, off topic, what is your thought on a sinkhole personally and or legally? Especially it happened beneath a new police station. I digress. Oh, sorry, I was going to get that one. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. It was kind of crazy. It was a big meme over here. There's a lot of legal responsibility. I haven't been able to track down who's responsible, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then Mark Madden says, I have a feeling no lawyer looked at this. No, I think they just didn't think about it, or maybe they didn't care about Reddit. Maybe, once again, I said this early on, and my fans will remember this. Guys who've been around will remember this. Newbies may not, but I said at one point, these people will all drive knives in each other's back. When it comes to the law, in a lawsuit, there is no loyalty. Remember, Denim's already stabbed the mods in the back. She already said, oh no, I'm not going to fight on their behalf. I'm not going to try to, push this off. I'm not going to delay. No. I'm not going to protect them by agreeing to a motion to expedite this, right? And now the mods have stabbed Reddit, and Reddit will stab somebody else. Once again, they will all pass the buck. Nobody wants to be left with the legal hot potato. As my mod says, Danielle, she said it, not me. These hoes ain't loyal. Especially during a lawsuit. Patrick S. for 5 says, surprised I don't find a motion of sexism since XQC's. That's not a real motion. Surprise, motion for sexism is not a real motion. Okay, let's continue. The repercussions if we are unmasked and not hypothetical, it is a harsh reality I know we would face if our identities were revealed. I am certain we'd be targets of swatting, a dangerous and potentially deadly harassment tactic. This is another one. This just made me laugh. Guys, how many years, especially, and I'm going to put this out there, for the last couple years, have people been swatted over and over again, on the right and on the left. But this has happened all over the time. People who put their faces out there. We all run risks if we're in America being swatted. I'm not in America, so I don't get swatted. They don't do swatting here. It's not a thing, and they don't know how to speak the local language, so that'll never happen. But that said, it's a huge risk. It is. But guess what? That's what real people deal with. Real people deal with this risk all the time. And how many times have Redditors encouraged the swatting of others and doxed others? How many times have Redditors gone after people, doxed them, put their personal information out there, and got them ultimately swatted, right? And now they're the ones getting swatted. What is swatting? Swatting is when somebody calls law enforcement and they make up a fake scenario. They say somebody has a weapon, somebody is passed away, whatever, and you make up a fake scenario that would cause the police to show up with guns. So essentially the SWAT team, SWAT, that's why it's swatting. Right? So this is very much reaping what they sow, because many of these people have put information online hoping that others will make fake calls to make that happen, to make law enforcement show up at their house. If you are a person, and I understand, once again, it's a unique problem to people on the internet, but if you're a larger content creator, almost all of them I have spoken to have had this happen in America. You have to go through a lot of steps to keep your information private, right? Mark Madden, welcome as a new member. Thank you. And Shimazu says, loyalty? Nah, bruh, the collective mods be fighting. And mind you, by the way, if this motion if they lose this motion, as they will, they're going to have to get different lawyers because their interests are going to suddenly be adverse to each other, right? Or at least they should. I don't know how that lawyer would waive that conflict. That'd be kind of sketchy. But anyways, what they're doing is, how can they file it? They're trying to hide their identities, but it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. But at the end of the day, people, all of these filings, all this 700 pages, there's really one legal question for the judge. This is the legal question for the judge. And it's a very basic question. Does Ethan Klein of TED Entertainment, right? That's his party. So whenever you read TED, that's Ethan Klein. Just read Ethan Klein. Does Ethan Klein have the right to know who willfully and deliberately engaged in copyright infringement against him with the intent to cause financial harm? Does he have the right to know their names, to know who they are, etc.? And the spoiler alert is that clearly he does. That is a clear legal principle. There is nothing in these filings, nothing that I've read, that would prevent their identities. Now, there are certain protections for certain people. So if you are a judge, if you're law enforcement, if you're a minor, yes, there are protections, right, for your information. I doubt these people are in those categories, but just on the offhand, and because I, Legal Mindset, am a very fair presenter of information, if they happen to be a judge or a law enforcement agent, then yeah, there might be some protections for their information. But otherwise, it needs to come out. And at the minimum, it would need to come out to the attorneys or the court itself, right? But what did come out is 50 Legal Mindset memberships. You know what? That's getting a special one today.
Long,
Thank you for the long 50. And of course, if you guys haven't seen that, that's the origin. Some people who are new to the mindset lore. The Long Man is a Japanese commercial. That's the origin story for my intro, right? It's the origin story for my intro. We're going to have to do a lore episode. There's a lot of new people. Mr. Baird Oxum says, swatting is bad now that Redditors can catch more charges. God, these people are so dumb. And they think it's rules for thee, not for me. It's the world they live in. It literally shows you this lawsuit is a window into Reddit brain and how these people live in a different reality where they think they're immune from consequences and the law. It's nuts. The Jowbot says folks outside of Redditor's safe space aren't people. To them, right? To them. Right? That's dangerous. Anthony 10 for 10 says swatting really needs to be treated as a attempted, many people have been hurt. I agree with you. And people who do that should be punished because people have died from that. Dogs get killed. People. It's really bad. It's really bad. I do not believe in that at all. Okay. We got to keep moving here. because I got to dunk on Denims for at least like 10, 15 minutes here. Straight. Let's get to the court date. We got a court date. December 14th, 2026. Once again, I may or may not have scuffed that in the fast facts. You may or may not see that after this episode. You may or may not comment on that. I may or may not cope and seethe about making that mistake. But yeah, no, that is indeed the court date. Indeed the time. So we got something to look forward to there. Pretty good. Let's see. Also, Gaxian gifted 5 Lego months. Thank you for the generosity. I really, truly appreciate that. Thank you guys for being the best community out there, and appreciate all the gifts today. You guys are awesome.
Yes.
All right. Denims. Oh, Denims. And oh, here we go. Okay, before we dunk on Denims, we got James dropping another 50. Thank you so much. We got to get it. Let me get another super based one. Here we go.
Hello, Peso Department.
Gigabase. Please say thank you to James or Tank Rat. Anybody, if you received a gift membership today, please say thank you, especially the big gifters. Helps us out, and you can use the new Tylenol American and Officer Jenny for Pokemon. And that's not Pokemon, the one you know and love as a child. That's Pokemon, the company international that's suing everybody and acting as a patent troll. So I'll put those in the chat myself. Get some Tylenol Americans in the chat. Get some Officer Jennies in the chat. Good stuff. That's stuff that your membership now allows. If you have one, use those. You get access to the member streams, including my last member stream, a little preview of this one. We also previewed the Somali IRL documentary, the real one. Okay. Denims came for VTubers. This was her biggest mistake. Oh, and let me get this one real quick. Lex Lugo said, what if the Redditors are minors? Then yes, it would be protected. Obviously, right? Okay. So in the fast facts, it just show the image, but I'm going to show you guys the video. Now, I know for my members that are members chat, we reviewed this yesterday, so you're going to see it again. But I think this was the dumbest thing ever that she could possibly do by crashing out on VTubers. And by the way, she had real people. This person that she was trying to pick on was following Tectone, Ethan Klein, Asmongold, and other real people.
I'm waiting for you to lose the lawsuit. Oh no, that's iDubbbz. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God. So sad for you, man. Well, I hope one day, I know you might think your life is over because you're 40 years old and you've never made a single friend in your life.
So she's trying to dunk on this one person, but watch how she accidentally, and not so accidentally, sorry, intentionally, right, puts every single VTuber in the crosshair.
But, you know, anyone can turn their life around. Anyone. Oh, sorry, not you. I changed my mind. Listen, I love VTubers, but you know.
So that's the cope there. I love VTubers, but you always ignore when someone makes a but statement, ignore everything after the but, because she's going to tell you how much she doesn't love VTubers and how much she views them as her competition. And she feels insecure about them. Watch this.
Oh, it's a special type of mental derangement when it's someone that follows exclusively VTubers. And
by the way, that's a lie. Look who this person is following. Even on the screen she's on. I just pause here. Asmongold's not a VTuber. Sweet Anita, Ricky Berwick, Strawberry Tabby. We got OnlyFans girls here. Extra Emily. Is Extra Emily a VTuber? No. So she's making up. Right? Because she's a failed OnlyFans girl. Right? Sad. Can we get a scuff emoji? I thought I was working on that. Let me go back. I thought I had a scuff somewhere. There might be a scuff somewhere. Casual Boomer for 10 says, Tylenol American is the funniest thing since making grilled cheese at night. I'm a Tylenol grilled cheese American. That's right. Shemaz says, members, let's up those numbers. Nice community. Thank you, guys. We have one of the most respectful communities on YouTube, and it's because of you guys being awesome. And I appreciate you all keeping it fun here, educational and entertaining. All right.
And also Asmongold.
So
but you know it's a special type of mental derangement when it's someone that follows exclusively VTubers and also Asmongold.
No, in fact, if you follow exclusively VTubers and Asmongold, I would actually counter that and say,
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
that would actually be pretty based. That would actually be pretty based. If that's who you follow, that would actually be based. But that's not even the reality, right? That's not even the reality.
This is not a good sign. Followed Asmongold, right? Following Rich Campbell, okay. Then followed Asmongold's other account, Hyperfan, you know. And that wasn't enough, by the way. He's also following, where is it?
Also, they follow H3H3. Shout out to Donut. Donut's up there. Sasha Gray. That's not a VTuber. Sophia Zipe. Not a VTuber.
Asmongold 24/7. He needs his Asmongold, okay? He needs it. He needs his mold. And then was like, discovered Iron Mouse and was like, well, actually, sorry, discovered.
Emeru's right there. Two Braddies right there. Queso's right there. Got a lot of other people.
It seems like a couple VTubers before then, actually. He's been on his VTuber grind for forever. Asian Bunny X, respect.
So the only person she gives respect to is fellow OnlyFans thought Asian Bunny X. Now, I'm not throwing shade at Asian Bunny X particularly, but it shows you zero respect for any VTuber. VTubers are often the most talented creators out there. They can sing, they can maybe game, they've got other talents, maybe they're just, really hilarious, they can present, but they certainly have to figure out more things technologically with their model, etc., than the average streamer like Denims, who just gets on and yaps and reacts and does, nothing, right? So very, very interesting here.
Real recognized real. And then was like, you know what, dude? Yeah, it's time to goon, okay? Time to just VTube goon. Mm-hmm.
It's time to goon. It's time to VTube goon. Just about all this. Look, we got Case on here. Vidal.
So true.
Shondo? You gonna come for Shondo?
And when I got to the till, the barista not only had the audacity.
Wrong one. I got a Shondo for Denims. Here's a Shondo for Denims.
Yes, ancient women. Any woman that is physically above the age of 13 is ancient.
That's why she's mad. Because that Shondo quote really put Denims over the edge because she can't compete with her VTuber model. How insecure do you have to be? Like, how insecure do you have to be scared of a VTuber model? Are you serious?
3D women suck. None of them ever have loved me in my life, so it's okay. One of these VTubers, they're the only things that can ever love me. Mm-hmm. Goon time, goon. Oh, and he's following the Nazi gooner bait, obviously.
Nazi gooner bait. She's highlighting Kirsha. So Kirsha is Nazi gooner bait.
Obviously. This guy doesn't know when he's being pandered to. And he's like, goon.
And then Pippa, gooning to Pippa, right? Once again, we've all seen Pippa's feet, okay? There's nobody gooning to that. And I guess we need to play this for the audience. Nobody is gooning to this.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh yeah.
It's not happening. That's good comedy, but it's not happening.
Goon. Oh, look, and he's following the Nazi rat VTuber too.
Riri literally. So he is making a comment about Riri, who's a very sweet VTuber, very nice girl, who literally was adjusting her camera. And because she adjusted her camera, she gets called a Nazi. Because her camera was right there, and I dare not do it myself, right? And make a motion in this direction. The Nazi lawyer, right? Adjusting his camera. And that got her called the Nazi rat, right? Or was it a light? It was something. She was adjusting something, right? It's like the whole, you can only raise your hand to like a certain angle. If it goes between here and here, you can't do it. You can either hail a cab straight up, or you can put it out, but you can't above that angle. You can't go. You can't do it. You Can't do it. If it's more than straight out, you can't do it. Can't do it. It's got to go directly up like you're in a classroom, or it's got to go out, right? There's no other way. I did not do it. I will ban you, Torgo. I will ban you, Torgo. I will ban you. Chat is banned. Shabazz said, Andrew scuffed the scuff emoji. I literally did. Isn't that in character that I scuffed the scuff emoji? I was like, I thought I ordered a scuff emoji, and it may be like sitting scuffed in a folder somewhere, like lost to time. I think somebody emailed me a scuff, image, and I'm like, cool. I saved it, and I went to bed, and I forgot to upload it. It's somewhere. God, if you sent me the scuff emoji and you did it for me, I'm sorry. I will try to find it. I know it's somewhere, but it's very on brand that I lost it. VTubers are life. Just saying. I know. And once again, why do people watch VTubers? Okay, listen. I'm be honest. Do people goon to VTubers? Yeah, of course they do. But people goon to like trees. People goon to like cars, skyscrapers. People goon to like birds. Like people goon to weird stuff. People goon to everything, right? That's besides the point. But is that the main point? I don't think so. For 99% of VTubers, I don't think that's the point. I think the point is they're genuinely entertained by that, or they feel a connection with the person, or they're really entertained. They like the community. They like the presenter. They like the person, right? It's not your OnlyFans content, you know? Maybe not 99, but 90%. We'll call it 90%, right? Yeah, I'm not judging anybody. Listen, I'm not judging anybody. But I'm just saying to call all VTubers gooner bait is taking away from them. Once again, you're calling Iron Mouse, you're calling all these other ones that are very sympathetic. Iron Mouse, immunodeficient, and you're going to go ahead and call her just gooner bait. That's all she is to you. No, that's a projection of your own insecurity because that's all you have to offer the world. Casual Boomer for 10 says, camera adjusting, you mean Elon maxing? I cannot see any difference. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to need to I'm messing with everything. I'm going to make some adjustments after today. I was moving my table back so to get a different perspective. So I'm trying to get a more of my suit in the picture, but it turns out I need to get a different stand. I'll probably, instead of a stand, I'll probably get an arm so I can swing this in a way that's more, that's more appropriate. Mr. Paradox says, Dona's my Oshi, mostly because Brandon Herrera doesn't stream. Eric says, he did it? How dare he? Master Ampherdue says, calling everyone Nutzies got a man killed recently, and you should not do that. It is dangerous. I agree. And it should be, once again, if we get to a point where they want to criminalize that, specifically that term, saying it is defamatory, or rather per se defamation to call somebody a Nazi unless they're a member of the active National Socialist Party of Germany, or they call themselves a Nazi openly, like they say, I am a Nazi. In that case, you can call them that. But unless they do that, it's defamation. Right? And it should be. Walking Corpse says, I have not once gooned to a VTuber. Any tips? Okay. I was trying to avoid, chat. I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, but...
Degenerates. You guys degenerates.
This is a great example of Tylenol Twitch extreme leftist ability to pick and choose things to create a false narrative to support a fabricated reality. I agree. DCV says, rich coming from someone that sells Snatch and OnlyFans. That's right. Scufferoni says, cool Korean. King Lucia said, some would goon to floor tiles. Exactly. People will goon to weird stuff. Torgo says, mindset. You see Final Fantasy Tactics? Yes, I really want to play. If I get a good enough computer and I have time, which is my most scarce asset, I really would love to do that because I hear a lot of VTubers are struggling with it, and Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite games ever. And I hear they just remastered it. I'm like super excited to play that. That's like I will like I'm canceling Netflix, of course, because of a lot of the stuff they're doing, and investing in Final Fantasy Tactics. That'll happen. Anthony says, never doubt the power of Gooners, especially feet bros. Bippa's feet aren't that bad, and Foxu feet were nice. Okay. This is a rabbit hole I didn't intend to go down, but I'm actually baiting this one. Casual Boomer said, I think the defamatory Nazi path leads to the slippery slope we see in Deutschland, where calling a petition fat is a criminal offense, rather than lets calls to violence be enforced. Well, here's where I draw the line. I agree with you on that. I'm scared of a slippery slope. However, it's because it's a specific organization, right? So a Nazi is a very specific organization. Same with, for example, if you called somebody a white supremacist, that means a very specific thing. It's different than just calling somebody a bigot or a misogynist, right? It's a very specific label that you are pushing something very specific. So I would argue you could draw a line, but I'm once again, this is chat. If you push back against me with a reasonable argument like Casual Boomer, I'm cool with it. See, we can have disagreements here, and I can see his point. Maybe it's a case by case basis. Maybe. NGE fan 76 says VTubers are just guy talk shock jocks, but are also anime waifus. Exactly. You get a shock jock with Opie. No? Banky says VTuber debut when? Guys are bullying me into VTubing. It's going to happen, guys. Just slowly. I do everything. Look, it took me this long to move my table back a foot, okay? I do stuff slowly, but it does happen. Walking Corpse says, I have not once gooned to a video. Oh, no, I got that one already. Tiberian National says, wait. Hold on a second. There are people who actually pay to see this chick? Yes. Very sad people. Hugger Shocker for 50 said, people goon to anything and everything. Denim's is just upset she isn't included. That's right. And I will get the rest later. Let's finish this.
Goon. Time to goon. And now he's here. That's so sad for you. That is really tough. That's really tough. That's a brutal life you lead, man. I hope one day you can find a friend. I don't think it's possible for you. I think it's too late for you, man. I think it's too late. I think it might be too late. And then he's also so stupid. He can't come up with like anything to come back with. Like he can't even come up with an insult. His insult is just at himself saying, I love my gooning VTubers. Do you frequently try to make fun of other people by making fun of yourself? Has it ever worked? Go outside, man. Just like, please.
Her voice is like nails on a chalkboard. But yeah, absolute L from Denims. Absolutely makes her look bad. Absolutely shows she's more concerned with dunking on VTubers, literally dunking on VTubers, including Iron Mouse, than she is about her own case. And to me, that says a lot. It says a ton. It says exactly how stupid she is to show her case is melting over here. It is getting incinerated in court. And she could care less. She could know less. All she's concerned is the spicy cat, Kirsha, is taking her gooners. She's afraid of her pay pigs leaving to goon over somebody else, right? Absolutely not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. All right, let me pull up the last slides here. Of course, once again, I had one here for Iron Mouse, just pulling her up. Once again, if you guys get a chance to donate to the Immune Deficiency Foundation, go ahead and do that. Do something good. Let's counteract Denim's negativity. Let's do something good. You can donate to that if you so wish. Very good cause, very noble cause. But I did find the real reason why Denims is salty. She's salty because a VTuber 2D mouse does better foot content than her. This is the real reason. I've exposed it on Legal Mindset live for you guys today. This is the real reason why Denims is mad at Riri. Because Riri beat her in this niche. This is the reason. All the people saw Riri and they left to sim for Riri. That's what happened here. That's what happened here. Exposed on the Legal Mindset. Rip monetization. I think we'll be all right. I mean, I think we'll be all right, guys. Right? We did it like an hour and 30 in, right? We did it an hour and 30 in. I'll clip it out. Sorry, children. If any children were in the room, I am sorry you had to see those feet. Denim's feet could poke an eye out. You may have lost an eye or suffer a disability. If you were scarred by Legal Mindset showing Denim's feet, please call 111 Saul Goodman. Yeah, it's great. Ace Adventure said, what happened to the term neo-Nazi from my youth? No, that's gone. It's just Nazi now. James Rebellin says, Mindset, I'm confused about Pokemon. Go watch my video. In fact, I'm going to have a subtitled version coming out in Japanese soon. I just got the SRT file. Eagle's working on putting that together for me. We're going to have a new video out. Just watch the summary fast facts video. You'll get it. I don't want to do it all in right here, but essentially Pokemon has a lawsuit against Pal World where they're being a bully. They're using money to their advantage. They're patent trolling. They're trying to kill modding. It's very important that we stop Pokemon, the Pokemon Company International. We have to tag their Japanese company name, Kabushiki Gaisha Pokemon, and that's the way to stop them. And it's also by making fun of Pokemon in any way we can, such as their relationship with ice. So by making fun of them that way, it's disrespectful. And in Japan, under Japanese culture, disrespect is not tolerated. So that's going to get the Japanese company's attention because the Japanese company typically ignores the American company. And the fact that they're going to have to pay attention is really going to make them mad. Going back to the topic, R34 coming for Twitch, Reddit. A lot of things are coming for Twitch. Yeah, there's a lot coming for Twitch as well. Marsupio said, I make goon to trees and buildings, but I draw the line at attorneys. Degeneracy. That is definitely degeneracy. And if I hear that...
No. Wait.
JP Ravenfire said, I saw an ugly rat and a cute VTuber. Based. Thanks to the mods, by the way, JP and Danielle. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Legal Mindset plays FFT. A little money, bros. Rise up. That's right. Tossing them coins. Hugashaka for 5 Legal Mindset memberships. McZulian for 100. I think it's Argentina. Says, please add one of those pixelated memes of Saul Goodman into a custom emoji. It may be, no, it's got to be me. It's got to be, an Andrew Saul Goodman Phoenix Wright merger. That's what I go for. Brian Dingo says, Lawyer Man, what's the over-under on human mouse girl relationships? Asking for a friend. You need to see a doctor, particularly one of the mind. That is very that is needed. Patrick says, Lust went over one of the motions that Denim was filing to suppress her financials. Would that even work? No. No. In this case, in defamation, both parties' financials come out. So both Denim's financials and Ethan's financials are coming out. That's a big part. And that's a disadvantage of suing for defamation. So a lot of people say, sue for defamation. Do you want all of your financials exposed? That's a big downside of defamation. And there's a lot of reasons why you don't do it specifically for that reason. Dabbling Warlock says we may be degens, but we're at least respectful degens. That's right. Okay. Guys, we got a fast facts spinning up right now. Right now. So please stick around. Please like this video. Please make sure you go there and like that video, comment. I'm so excited to be back. Today was an excellent episode. I had so much fun today, and I look forward to a bunch of fun topics that are coming this week. Let me get this last one. Mr. Paradox says slippery slope is a real thing, but so far it's free falling on the other side because people are intentionally and deliberately defamatory, and I'm tired of it. The name calling is pathetic. I agree. We need to be positive. We need to bring back goodness and facts and professionalism to the internet instead of just hate and coping and seething. See you guys.
You are coping and seething. You just can't believe what you're seeing. It's you coping and seething. The truth it is all day, and now you are more than you.